Watch what you bet here on That Betting Show, Teddy. And, this is a tough one for me to pull today. I'm not going to lie. Phillies dropped 5 straight games. Now face Paddock and the Padres tonight. Last night, Nola was supposed to be the stopper last night versus Lauer. Grand slams taking place. The Phillies get blown out and they get lower. And obviously, you saw with the game, if you watch any of that, Teddy, McCutchen gets injured to start the game. So not a good sign for Philadelphia. Now you're getting the Padres' young ace here. And look, the numbers tell the difference here. Padres favored as high as 150 with a total of 7.5 going to take place tonight at Petco Park. Game 2, Phillies 33-27, clinging to a lead in the NL East. And the Padres are 31-29. Eichhoff versus Paddock tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, the Phillies are having a terrible road trip. Make no mistake about it. 5 straight losses, as you mentioned. McCutchen gets hurt yesterday. I mean, they happened to get Jay Bruce prior to McCutchen's injury, but, Bruce was outfield depth. Now he's in the lineup every day, and McCutchen, that's impact. He matters. We talk about Eichhoff, and Eichhoff's been rough the last couple of his last 4 starts. He's given up at least 4 runs every start, 0-2 with an ERA over 8. Opponents hitting .330 against him, giving up more than a base runner and a half per inning. Those are real dicey numbers. On the other hand, Paddock's coming off probably his worst start. On the season, opponents have hit 170 against him. He's given up 0.8 runners per inning. 34 hits, 12 walks, 62 strikeouts in 56 innings. Those are really impressive. But his last outing, a little bit dicey in the Bronx against the Yankees. Of course, Andy Green, after the game, we know what Chris can do. He's performed brilliantly. Games like his last one are going to happen. Back home at Petco, no surprise here, if the Padres' young phenom finds his way again against a Phillies team that is just not playing good ball on this West Coast swing.
No, yeah, we did see him struggle there in the Bronx, but obviously a really good hitter's ballpark there. But now moving back over to Petco, you're going to get a little bit more pitchers matchup, and he's been good, and we'll see if the Phillies can solve him tonight and not dip to 6 straight losses. Syndergaard may have bumped tonight, Teddy, in the Big Apple. How about this? Mets favored -141 total, sitting around 7. 7-10 tonight in MLB extra innings live from New York. Giants are 24-34 on the season. Mets are 28-31. Bumgarner versus Syndergaard. Should be a decent one.
Yeah, Bochy goes for his 1,000th win as the Giants manager tonight. He's got $9.99. But the Mets, I mean, they're returning home off their, 2-5 West Coast trip. They should have gone 4-3, but the bullpen got annihilated. They blew a 5-run 7th-inning lead against the Dodgers, and then had a 4-run lead with DeGrom on the mound in the 7th and lost to Arizona over the weekend. So we've seen a couple of key bullpen meltdowns and a big difference psychologically between a 4-3 trip and a 2-5 trip, especially with the Mets really slumping. Heck, they got the 5th worst record in the National League, 28-31. Mickey Callaway's quote, "Inconsistency is not going to win you games. That's why we are where we are in the standings and what our record looks like. We have to do better." Of course, the Giants have to do better. They got the 2nd worst record in the National League. They've got the worst run differential in the National League, -76. But they are coming off back-to-back wins over Baltimore in blowout fashion. And with Mad Bum on the hill, with a pretty good track record against the Mets, they certainly look at San Fran as a live dog in this one, although Bumgarner did take the loss in his last start. He allowed only 2 runs over 6 innings. That wasn't enough to get the win in Miami.
Young pitcher here getting a little bit of money early in action today. NL Central battle here for Tuesday, Teddy. The Reds and the Cardinals. Cardinals sitting about +110, total of 8.5. 8:15 first pitch tonight. Reds 27-32 on the season. The Cardinals 30-28. Castillo versus Cabrera, Teddy. When we take a look, obviously the ace of the staff for the Reds is Castillo. He's a very good pitcher going on the road. But this young kid here who got roughed up a little bit in Philadelphia, not having the greatest minor league success through AAA this year, but does get the call. He throws hard. He's a little bit wild, so it'll be interesting to see that first maybe 1 or 2 times around to see if the Reds can time him up. The Phillies were able to touch him up and get an easy victory. Let's see if he bounces back tonight in the second start in the majors.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Cincinnati facing a lefty, I mean, all their best hitters lately, at least, Votto and Dietrich and Winkler come from the left-hand side. So no surprise tonight if it's like Senzel and Suarez and Puig and Iglesias with the right-handers getting the opportunity against the young lefty for St. Louis. And look, St. Louis, they won 4 in a row. They can match their longest streak of the season if they win again today. They just swept the Cubs. And again, this is a squad that went 7-18 to open up the month of May. So this current hot streak, A, the market's maybe a little bit behind, and B, boy, a big confidence boost for this squad. and all the quotes coming out of the locker room are like that. Similarly, on the other side, here's Castillo. He hasn't lost a game since the first week of April, but his last couple of starts have been not as crisp, let's just say. Got bombed in a loss at Milwaukee, and then last time out against the Pirates, wasn't stellar. Castillo, his quote, my changeup was working a little bit better than it was last time. I'm just going out there, going to go out there, practice, and keep battling. He does not have a great track record against St. Louis, although he won't have to face Yadier Molina, obviously, as key for St. Louis as anybody on their roster. He's on the 10-day injured list and won't be off until Friday.